Twice in 2 days, I've shared with clients the stand-up meeting format that I use, that I recommend to all my clients that I've used with my teams in the past. Works really, really well. There's 3 agenda points, but they serve different functions than you might think. So I want to talk about that today. So the Daily Huddle, Daily Stand-Up, lots of people call it different things. It's basically a 5, 7, 8 minute meeting that happens every single day at the same time, where nobody's allowed to sit down, and you cover a very specific agenda. The 3-part agenda that I use and that I got from Vern Harnish's book, Mastering the Rockefeller Habits, is very simple for anybody to run, even if you're uncomfortable running meetings, chairing meetings, you don't like to hold meetings. This is a meeting that you probably should have with your team every single day, and you should cover these 3 topics. Number 1, what are you gonna accomplish in the next 24 hours? Number 2, did you get done in the last 24 hours what you told us yesterday? And number 3, are you stuck on anything? Those 3 questions accomplish a lot of things, more than we can go into in this video, but each one has a really big thing that has been important to clients I've shared this with over the last 2 days. That first question, what are you going to accomplish in the next 24 hours, forces your team to consider what's most important, putting first things first. What's the big project? What's the thing that's behind schedule? What's the major billable thing that we can get out the door and get paid for? Putting first things first at the beginning of the day, and that stand-up is a great way to move the needle as a company and make sure you're being productive. It also allows you to have some input into what you believe is the most important thing, or what they should be putting first if you don't feel like they're really getting that. The second thing is obvious. It provides some accountability. Somebody's watching, somebody's keeping score. They are going to have to answer to somebody about whether they got the things done they were said they were going to get done or not. And that third question does a lot. It keeps the meeting moving. It gets you out of operational details, because if somebody's stuck on something, you don't answer their question there. You book some time where you can address it later. The other thing it does is it really helps limit interruptions. If your team knows that they're going to get at least one opportunity a day, preferably at the beginning of the day, to tell you that they're stuck on something and that they need your help, they're less likely to interrupt you throughout the day. I definitely found that to be my case when I implemented this with my team, and I've heard that same report from lots of clients who sign up for the Daily Huddle. One final thing I'd like to mention that was important to both of these clients that I shared it with recently is that the end of the Daily Huddle can serve as a really good kind of starting gun to start the day. That only works if it's put at the right time. So if everybody's supposed to be at the office at 8:30, your Daily Huddle can't start at 8:30. You have to give them a chance to get there, get things set up, get the coffee, get a little bit of chit chat in, set up their workstation, and then have the Daily Huddle. So for instance, if they're supposed to be there at 8:30, start your Daily Huddle at 8:47, some weird time. It works if it's an odd time. But at 8:47, everybody knows they're supposed to have their coffee in hand, they're supposed to have their machine fired up and their workspace ready to go, and their butt needs to be around the table where you're gonna have the Daily Huddle. And at 9 o'clock, when you finish the Daily Huddle, because it's very, very quick, it should never go more than 10 or 15 minutes. At 9 o'clock, the starting gun goes off, and preferably they start with that number 1 task, that big rock that they need to get done over the next 24 hours. That's the Daily Huddle. Get a lot of pushback on it because people don't like having meetings, but this is the one meeting that usually pays off really, really well for every company that tries it. See you guys tomorrow.